Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Sagittarius in August 2021. What is going on, Sagittarius? How are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing well. All right, friends, wherever you are in the world right now, Sag, I hope you're safe, happy, healthy, and secure. Please take good care of yourselves and those that you know and love, all right? Sag, no announcements here, so, but an apology for the lateness of this video. Your girl got sick at the beginning of August. So I'm about 6 days behind schedule. So apologies for this coming out closer to the middle of the month, but what can you do? Okay. Sag, anything you want from me, it's in the description box below. Let's get into your reading. No bottom of the deck, this month. We're going to end the message with the Oracle message, just a heads up on that. But you've got the Four of Pentacles to start, Strength, Leo energy, Judgment, Scorpio, and yeah, it's just Scorpio. Thank you. Right? Yeah. For some reason, I'm just like, Scorpio? Are we sure on that? Anyway, some channeled messages I got and images I got. I got the word saffron and the color blue, but I think my guides are like confusing saffron with sapphire, so either of those things might be important to you, or general tones of blue, or rather, excuse me, specifically a tone that's kind of a hue of blue, a tone of blue that's kind of similar to jeans, you know, the jeans or overalls or coveralls or however you phrase them, dungarees, another way that we talk about that. And then I also got the, oh, that's funny, now I see. I meditate before I shuffle. So one of the animals I got was a Pegasus, which is very similar to what we have here on the Strength card, even though that's not a horse, it's still a lion with wings. And I also got a monkey. So any of those things, they might mean something to you. If they don't, that's okay. So, to begin, Sag, I feel there's someone, could be you, could be someone you're dealing with, could be somebody in your energy. You know, it is a general, so it can go the other way, but it feels like something is calling, a situation is culminating, Judgment. Something is asking to be released with the butterfly images there, or asking to be protected, cocooned, again, butterfly, and a little bit the Four of Pentacles. It could go either way. We could let something go, fly off like a butterfly, or we can contain it, put it in a butterfly sanctuary. We could contain it like a squirrel, you know, nesting away their little pentacles or their nuts for the season. It could go either way. But the determination is yours, or whoever is the center of the reading. You know, for some of you Sagittarius, is the reason I keep mentioning or someone else, is that this is what someone else is experiencing. This is what someone else is thinking of, concerning themselves with, has their energy wrapped up in. So for some of you, you might be Four of Pentacles, in a holding pattern, in a waiting pattern on somebody who is at this moment in flux, possibly in metamorphosis. In this imagery of the butterflies on the Judgment card, right? Also with this card, how many of the butterflies on the card are in black and white, but you've got the one that's in color. So this could be a certain change, a certain evolution that you or somewhere in the story is unexpected. It's not exactly what is perceived as normal or predictable or even possible, but it's happening. So this might be one of those, you know, the impossible becomes possible, expect the unexpected. There's some turn of events or some turn in the flow of things that catches you or other people off guard. And that would be, to me, more on the lines of releasing. You know, you don't really know what to expect when you release something, right? Not all the time, but sometimes, yes? I really feel, Sag, it's not directly you who's making decisions or making moves. I think many of you are in this Four of Pentacles energy. You might share a bit of in the Strength energy, in that it takes strength to have a holding pattern. It has strength to sort of keep the faith, or hedge your bets a certain way and invest in a certain way that maybe you didn't feel safe to invest in or you weren't sure of, but you're taking a risk or a controlled risk maybe in some of your cases. The judgment, I think, is really external to you. It doesn't have to be, but it feels that way energetically. So my guess is that many of you are watching, like the eyes on the butterfly wings. You're watching someone else metamorphosize, change, make changing determinations or make definitive decisions in their life, in their circumstances that does have some, again, like, what am I doing with my, like the wings here on the butterfly or the wings on the lion. Like, the breeze of it will eventually get to you. So it's like a ripple effect or like a domino effect, or what's that other thing? Yeah, the butterfly, the butterfly effect. Something happens over there, across town, across the country, across the globe, and it ripples and finally touches base with you here in the Four of Pentacles. I don't know what it is. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But it feels as if, Sag, you're waiting for results. You're waiting to hear back. You're waiting to observe with your own eyes the particular decision or changes that you're expecting or that you believe another person would make. And based on what you hear back, based on what you observe, based on what you are able to discern in the situation, you then get to step up and make your own decision or keep a holding pattern with the Four of Pentacles. Strength energy, I think, serves both sides of the story. I think the person who's over here changing into this colorful monarch, schemed butterfly amongst all these grayscale ones is having to have strength, having to have fortitude to be bold, to be present, to be obvious or conspicuous. Things are much easier to hide in grayscale than they are in, every color of the prism spectrum. You know what I mean? So there's someone who might be making decisions that fly in the face of the collective or a certain community or a certain group. And you or other people. Okay, there it is. So you could be in the same room or in this collection of grayscale butterflies. So you could be in the audience. You could be at the board meeting. You could be an attendee at a conference. You could be somebody who is a trainee and you're watching another trainee step up to the mentor. And not step up, but even like, make a declarative statement. Or engage in a certain dialogue, or be the first person, like, I'm going to say something trivial, but it is sort of like an action that makes a situation real. So let's say this was like boot camp or something like that, which I don't have any experience in. I'm clearly not signed up as a member of any of our armed forces, right? But let's say you get to boot camp and the DI, the drill instructor, or whoever asks for a volunteer. I don't know if they do this, by the way. I don't know if this is protocol. But let's say they do. Out of all these little grayscale butterflies, one person stands up, first day of being a new recruit in the Army, in the Marines, in the Navy, what have you. And they're like, and which one of you are going to volunteer? And somebody says, me. Now they go up there and let's say it's hand-to-hand combat. And this person is thrown around like a rag doll by this instructor. That's not necessarily the bravest thing to do, but to some people in the audience, you might be one of them, Sagittarius, that's really brave. To put yourself out there on Front Street like that, to make yourself, to possibly allow yourself to be made a fool of in front of other people. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what anyone is doing, volunteering themselves to be made a fool of, volunteering themselves to step into harm's way, like a martyr or something like that. But it's like that. It's like someone bold enough to put themselves out in center stage, out in the spotlight, and that can be inspiring even if the person takes a dive. Does that make sense? So somebody willingly walking into being berated, walking into being criticized, walking into being thrown around like a rag doll. Think of it another way, a writing workshop. Who would like to volunteer to read their piece that, 20 of us in this room, we all wrote short stories or poems or what have you. Who's going to be the first person to read their work aloud? That takes balls to do that, right? So it could be you, could be somebody else. I'm just using it as an example, but there's some person who's willing to stand out amongst the crowd, which is a judgment call for them to release, for them to unburden themselves or dive, headfirst into the unknown, right? Maybe they are normally a ball of nerves in a situation like that. And one day they're just like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try this. I'm going to speak first. I'm going to raise my hand. For them, that's a transformative experience. And this could be you doing that. It still could be you. But if you're watching that experience, that might give you the courage to stop, holding back so much. And this doesn't have to be now. I could be talking about something that happened previously that is coming into context in your present moment. The memory of it could be coming alive in you. And that's significant. Okay? All right. That makes sense now. For a minute, I was just like, what the hell is going on here? But that makes sense to me. Okay. So, and I'm not a Sagittarius, so it's not my story, but like the way that flowed, that made sense. Now, let's build on this story. We're not going to clarify anything, I don't think, because if it resonates with you and it makes sense to you, it does. If it doesn't, that's okay. You leave the message alone. It's for other people. So let's build upon this for Sagittarius. What else is going on here? Give me more information here on this story for Sagittarius in August 2021. Again, I'm saying August 2021. It doesn't have to be happening for you right now. All of that could have happened when you were 10 years old. I have no idea. All right, so let's see what else is happening here for Sag. Heart of, 2. Hold on. Okay, there we go. 9 of Pentacles, Heart of Wands. One more, please. And Justice. All right. I always forget with this deck, so I'm going to check the book real quick because I'm terrible. My memory is not what it used to be. Heart in this deck, I'm pretty sure means Queen of Wands. But let me double check just to be sure. Yep. Heart of Wands, Queen. Exactly. Okay, so Queen of Wands, Heart of Wands, Justice. Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then Justice, major arcana for Libra. Could be dealing, don't have to be. Well, for some, this is like so, the collective energy is similar across several signs. So basically the thing the person, you or someone else over here in this judgment energy is making a judgment call on is independence. Is coming out of the shadows, coming out of the holding pattern, coming out of any fear, any anxiety, any worries, any withholding sensation or withholding mindset into a place of, I'm going to say this word, but I'm going to clarify the way I'm using it. Aloneness. Not stepping into loneliness, not stepping into being 100% on your own. You never talk to another human being for the rest of your life. No. But stepping into aloneness in that, I think, kind of radical or very, if not radical, how can I say? Like defiantly being yourself. Defiantly standing on your own, 9 of Pentacles, when other people may have said you'll never be able to. Or standing on your own after other people have coddled you, have insisted on injecting themselves in your life and offering you help, have made you dependent on them, or you've allowed yourself to become dependent on other people, whatever. You understand what I mean when I say aloneness? Standing in aloneness and not faltering, not fearing, not feeling incapable. This bottom line is turning uncertain, transitory energy into more certain, more defined, sharply defined, angled. Angled? Okay, sure. Sharply defined and angled certainty. No questions about it. As you see the imagery of the Heart of Wands, aka again, Queen of Wands, this fox coming out of the bushes, coming out of the collection of flowers there, emerging from a place where they were shadowed, where they were hidden, where they were possibly afraid or, avoiding something. So that could also be it. Like I said, in the two scenarios that I used for illustrative purposes, the military thing and the writers group thing, maybe the people who volunteer, who raise their hand, like I said before, all the rest of their lives, they never volunteered. They never spoke first. They never put themselves out there to be made a spectacle of, turned into a rag doll, or, speak their truth, put words, speak their story aloud and let other people hear it. Maybe this person, again, was afraid. Maybe they didn't have confidence that they were a good writer. Maybe they didn't have confidence that they were physically coordinated to do what the drill instructor would ask of them. But turns out, whatever they've been working on, because again, this metamorphosis thing with butterflies, you don't turn into a butterfly overnight. It takes time, right? You literally break down what a caterpillar is. It melts away essentially and turns into this creature that we call the butterfly. That isn't some easy peasy process, right? So someone may have written hundreds of short stories, hundreds of poems, and this class that they're taking in college, or this class that they're taking down at the Y, or whatever the hell it is, this is the one time, or the first time, the premier time that they're going to step out and speak in front of other people. Whether or not they're a good writer, whether or not they're capable, that's not the question. But they present that way. So possibly timidly coming out of the shadows. This is good. Justice, judgment. This is a good balance of this person's energy. And again, Sagittarius, this isn't you in some of the cases. You're watching someone do this. You're watching someone turn into a butterfly, possibly patiently watching. Maybe this is your child. Maybe this is your cousin or your best friend. Maybe this is someone who you've tried to inspire, who you've tried to tell them, listen, you can do it. I believe in you. You're talented, you're smart, you're beautiful, you're capable, you're strong, whatever. But they never believed you. They had to do it themselves, yes? So this doesn't have to be you, but whoever this is, what an amazing feat. What an amazing job this person is doing. And it's not necessarily that they're going to succeed at what they're doing. It's not that they're going to necessarily enjoy it, because like I said in the scenario with the military, I don't know anybody who would volunteer, or even like a martial arts class or self-defense class. I don't know anybody who's going to enjoy being like tossed onto the mat and like, twisted around like a pretzel for the sake of a demonstration. Like that's physically, I assume, painful, if not uncomfortable. But that confidence is that's the outcome that we care about. How they view themselves. They view themselves as this gorgeous flamingo, right? Well balanced, not shaken by any adversity, or not shaken by the, looks that they're getting or the giggles they might get. Maybe there's going to be one or two people out in the crowd who thinks that they did make a fool of themselves. Everybody else is like, wow, that was really great. That was really graceful. That was really wonderful what you wrote. That was really cool what you did there. So this is a person who just possibly even on a whim, but again, I think it's not really a whim. I do think this was a work in progress in most of the cases. But maybe the whim is, maybe it's like almost like an out-of-body experience where they raise their hand. Like their hand goes in the air before they even think about it. You know what I mean? So that's sort of maybe the suddenness in some of the cases that'll happen. This could also be, just as a caveat or just as a warning for a few of you, This could be the creation of a monster. Meaning, this person might step out on that stage, step out and speak in front of this crowd or this class of people, this gathering of people, and find their niche, find their calling in life, for good or for worse. When I say creating a monster, we could be creating a mogul. We could be creating an entrepreneur. We could be creating the next pop star, the next, rap star, hip hop star, whatever. Somebody might join an open mic night or whatever it is. And out in the crowd, somebody scouting for a record label or somebody who has connections in the music business, blah, 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 blah. We don't know. Justice, the potential for it to be good or bad is out there. But what I'm saying in creating a monster is like, once someone gets a taste for this, they might never go back to how they were, which is great. Transformation process. Metamorphosis, a judgment call, releasing into this newness. That's great. That's beautiful. I love that. But for some, I'm talking more the positive aspects, making a mogul, making an entrepreneur, right? There are times where also we might be making a megalomaniac. This might be the making of an egotist. This might be the making of somebody who, I don't know, somehow gets too full of themselves and it ends up being a disaster. Just as a warning for a handful of you. All right, let's get an oracle card and then we're going to wrap up. Let's see. Oracle message for Sagittarius, please, in this situation. Give me an oracle message here for Sagittarius in this story. And that could be the protective, almost stingy energy of the Four of Pentacles. You or someone else might be very aware of how this could go sideways and thus doesn't want to get involved, doesn't want to be overly invested, doesn't want to take much of a risk. Because the Four of Pentacles is mostly a withholding energy. I'm sensing it's, in this story, mostly an observational holding pattern, but it could extend beyond the situation. This could be I don't trust it. I don't think this is good. I'm not going to get involved. I'm just going to, wait back here in the wings, if that makes sense, okay? All right, let's get an oracle message for Sagittarius, please, in this situation. What is the oracle message for Sagittarius in this situation? Please show me. Okay. Dearest you, isn't it amazing how things seem to come around again? Judgment possibly, full circle in ways you could not possibly have planned. You wonder how a dream could die, only to be resurrected years later when you're really ready. You thought it was time back then, but your wisdom knows better than your small self, whose desires are unmet. Now here you are with a new opportunity to do things from a different, more mature perspective. We want you to trust that in this new opportunity for rebirth, you will be called in two directions, and the one that is unfamiliar will be the right one. In the unknown spaces, the uncharted places of infinite potential, we are waiting to guide you into your fullest life. Big bounty will come if you remain in the present. You have come full circle, and now you can see that everything changes, is made new, and is given new hope. And a little rabbit there on the illustration at the bottom of the card. So you can pause that and read it for yourself if you choose. It was in focus. Let's make sure it stays in focus. So yeah, you can pause that and read it for yourself if you'd like. Now, remember I said at the beginning, or at some point, that this top line could be something that happened years ago, and the insinuation of that is the bottom line could be your present or upcoming future, right? Oracle card kind of backs that up, because over here we see somebody transforming in the top line, right? We see a situation or a person sees an opportunity to do things differently than they have in the past or be different than the crowd, right? And then it's like this evolution or this changeover into this unknown, unexperienced space of authenticity, Again, this idea of aloneness, but not loneliness, but being an individual, right? I think it connects. If you don't, that's okay. But you let me know, okay? So if this resonated with you, leave a comment. If you liked it, leave a like. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, friends. Why not? Sag, if you want to get at me for a personal reading, you can find out how to do so by looking in the description box below. I appreciate you guys for watching. Take care. Bye.